Let's make something delicious. For these chocolate chip ricotta cookies, we are going to start with 1 stick, which is a 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, and you want to make sure that that is softened to room temperature. And we have 1 cup of granulated sugar. Now you can use a hand mixer or a stand mixer for this. I am going to use the KitchenAid fitted with a paddle attachment. And you want to whip that until it's smooth and creamy, which will take about 2 minutes. Now our butter and sugar is nicely whipped together. Now we are going to add 1 cup of whole milk ricotta cheese. You want to do whole milk, not part skim. You're going to end up with a much better product if you do whole milk ricotta. Now the key is about this ricotta, if you are using a brand that is very wet, you will want to strain it and get out some of that liquid because it will make your cookies too watery. If you are using a brand that is thicker, you won't have to do that. Like this brand is Organic Valley. It's fairly thick. I did strain it a little, but I only got out about a teaspoon full of liquid, so I wouldn't necessarily had to have strained it. I usually use Belgioioso. You wouldn't have to strain that at all. But usually like a store brand, you may want to strain it. So now you want to whip this until it's nice and smooth and creamy, which will take about a minute. Now we will add 2 large eggs, 1 at the time, with the mixer running. Now I am going to add 2½ teaspoons of vanilla extract, roughly measured of course, which is probably more like 3 for me. And you want to mix that again till all the vanilla is mixed in and it's nice and smooth and creamy. Now for the dry ingredients. We have 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. We have 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. We have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder, and a pinch, which is about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now you want to mix all of this together. That way you get all of it mixed. That way when you put it in, you're not getting a lump of cornstarch or a lump of baking powder. The reason for the cornstarch, if you've watched me before, you know I tend to add a little cornstarch to things like this. It makes for a much better texture in the end product. In a chewy cookie, it'll make it a little more chewy. In a fluffy cookie, it'll make it a little more fluffy. It works very well, so you don't want to leave that out. Now that our wet ingredients are all nice and smooth and creamy and our bowl is scraped down, I like to add in my flour, well, my dry mixture. I like to add it in by hand. You end up with a much more tender cookie. If you add it in with a mixer, it can get overworked and make for a tough cookie. So I'm going to add this in 2 parts, which will make it easier to stir in by hand. So you just want to fold it in gently until the first part is all folded in. Then you want to add in the second part. Now you want to add the second part, but when you add the second part, you also want to add in your chocolate chips, because that way they won't all sink to the bottom because they'll get coated in flour. We have 1 cup of mini chocolate chips. Yes, I do highly recommend using the minis rather than full size, because this way you get chocolate chips in every bite. And it just works so much better with a ricotta cookie to use minis. And minis are readily available in any store. So you want to mix this until you don't see any dry pockets of flour, but do not overmix. Once you don't see any more dry pockets of flour, stop mixing. Now our dough is fully mixed, and as you can see, it's nice and stiff. I mean, you can even touch it and it's not leaving behind goop on your fingers. It's nice and stiff, which is the way you want a ricotta cookie to turn out, because it's going to make for a nice fluffy puffy cookie. I have 2 half sheet pans. Now you can also just use cookie sheets. I use half sheet pans because I tend to be able to get more cookies on a sheet pan than a cookie sheet. And I have them lined with parchment. Now I'm going to scoop them by 1½ tablespoon cookie scoops. Now if you want smaller cookies, use the smaller cookie scoop. Hit your tractor, whatever cranks it. You can also just take a tablespoon, dip it out, and you can roll them between your palms if you want them rounder. Now you want to leave a good bit of space between them. You want to leave 2½ to 3 inches between them, because you don't want a cookie blob baked on your cookie sheet. You want to make sure that they're nice, even cookies. And not a big cookie blob. So you want to make sure they're nice and centered, not around the edges or not touching each other, because you want to give them a nice space to spread. Now they're not going to spread a ton, but you want to give them space. If they want to spread, you want to give them space that they can spread a little without harming anything else. Now, while I'm doing this, I will tell you, you want to have your oven racks in a specific position so that you can bake 2 pans at a time. Now, if you are more the type that don't want to bake 2 pans at a time and you want to just do 1 at a time, you don't have to worry about this. Just put your 1 rack, 2nd rack from the bottom, and just go. But because I'm going to do 2 pans at a time, you want to have your racks, the bottom one, you want to have it 1 step above the bottom. The top one, you want it 1 step below the top. Put your cookie sheets in, 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Halfway through, which is going to be about 6 to 8 minutes. You want to put the top on the bottom and the bottom on the top for even browning and even baking. These beauties are out of the oven. They baked for between 15 and 18 minutes. To be oddly specific, these baked for about 16 minutes. Now you want to leave them sit while Jason tries to steal one.
They're too hot.
They're too hot right now. As you can see, they start to get a little golden brown around the edges. And if I can pick one up enough, see, they get a nice brown. They get a nice brown on the bottom. Now, you want to leave these to cool on the pans for about 5 minutes so that they are easily handled. And then you want to remove them to a wire cooling rack and let them finish cooling completely. These beauties are all done. They're so quick and easy that you can make them any time of year. You can make them at Christmas. They would be perfect for your Christmas cookie plate, or they would be perfect on a Tuesday because they are so delicious. They are soft and pillowy, but not necessarily cakey, because that ricotta keeps them from being too cakey. They are a treat. If you've never had a ricotta cookie, you need to try this. So come back next time to Angela K's Kitchen, where I take you from gourmet to everyday and everything in between. God bless.